1, 2, 3, let's go.
Wednesday afternoon, hoping you will tune into our show.
I guess any of us, we all know that if we're going to a wedding or a funeral or anything else, an interview or a date, we feel we're going to dress accordingly, appropriate to that situation, which I guess we do try to do. Just one small example that comes to mind on that. I used to watch, probably, 5, 6, 7 years ago now, Hugh, Laurie, one of our actors, he played a character in an American hospital. I don't know whether you saw it, Dr. Gregory House.
It's a House.
Did you watch House at all?
I've
that to me was probably singularly the most brilliant series. I don't think it's on Netflix, but I think I've got most of the seasons on DVD, which I plan to watch again, as I have seen it all through. But it was quite brilliant. But the point I want to make is he always had. He was obviously a clearly intelligent doctor, brilliant in his diagnoses, and it was a great series. But he always said outlandish things which landed him in trouble and so on. But he was usually proved right. And throughout the series, all of the seasons, he made this point that everybody lies, and that was kind of a mantra. Everybody lies. And I actually thought, when it came to mind a minute ago, that will make a very good subject for another afternoon podcast, this idea that everybody lies. And when not necessarily meaning, and it does mean lying, barefaced lying with what we say sometimes, but it also means perhaps trying to pretend we're something we're not, and all that. What images we want to put on to give a good impression is kind of... perhaps lying is too strong. It may be disingenuous. It may be just something we're trying to do for not nefarious purposes, not for wrong reasons. But anyway, one thing that, so he said everybody lies. And one thing he did say was always stuck with me. He says, the eyes can mislead, the smile can lie, but the shoes always tell the truth. And I actually always thought that was quite brilliant, because you can see what it's trying to say, that actually you can be well dressed, well scrubbed up, but if your shoes don't really match or are good enough, it can destroy the impression. So what he always felt was that someone who wears good quality expensive shoes is a good person, which is probably ridiculous to say it like that. But he was saying the importance of shoes. And something I've always liked, I don't know whether I first said it or whether it's someone else, but the idea that we should all have a very good quality pair of shoes and a very good quality bed, because if we're not in one, we're in the other. And I think there's obviously a lot of truth about that. It's good to have quality things that really matter to us. So shoes, I think, are very much part of and I think shoes actually have always been a bit of a fascination for me as a cultural thing in our society. And actually one of my songs, now I think about it, Hell for Leather, sort of touches on this idea of shoes and all the different types of shoes which reflect a particular fashion at a particular time. Some go through fashion, they're not really fashionable or otherwise. But shoes, what humans wear, is quite something. And it's actually quite poignant to see a lot of the shoes dragged out of the Titanic, since they found that under the sea. Right. And they found lots of things from the ship. Some say they should never have touched it, but they did bring up lots of shoes, which people obviously had been wearing when everything went wrong. So I think shoes are a very important part of the clothing we wear. So that's a way we can give a good first impression. I suppose another way of giving a good first impression, the main way really, is confidence. And that's something, whereas clothes we can do something about, confidence, really, we can't. We might, if we're going on a date, say,
the leader of our gang will make the show go with a bang and fund the aim of everything cost us, and fund the aim of
we can't. We might, if we're going on a date, say, or a job interview, going to those main two things, we can try and bluff it. We can try and act a bit outlandish, a bit confident, hey there, bro, and all that. And it may not be our real self.
Yeah.
But again, everybody lies. Coming back to house, maybe there are times we all try and put on, not even aware of it sometimes, we try and suggest we're something we're not, maybe in a confidence, confident sense. Because confidence is, I think, a very attractive thing in people. It gives us a very good first impression, provided it's not tipping over into arrogance. But a good confident body language is good, and it's not something we can sort of engineer or suddenly say, well, I'll be very self-confident today. It's either there or it's not. But that's, again, a very key part of giving a first impression. Someone who's confident in the way they speak, and again, they speak that voice, they hear the voice, and we get an immediate impression. I popped into Tesco's this morning, and I was going to a particular shelf or one of the aisles, and there was a very nice lady there. I thought she was a very nice lady, and she was just deciding what to buy. So I sort of waited just to the side of her, and she was evidently not quick in deciding what she wanted. So I just said, "Oh, excuse me, can I just reach over and get what I want there?" And she said, "Oh, I'll move." I said, "No, don't move." I said, "I can reach." And then she said something like, she said, "Oh, I wish I was not as," she wasn't that short, but she said, "I wish I was taller because I can't reach the things on the top shelves." And I said, "Well, actually, people sometimes ask me to get them for them. So if you want me to get it, I will." But anyway, my point is that until she spoke, I mean, I only had a sideways view of her. She looked a very nice woman. I didn't even form a first impression, except she was in my way, and and I didn't form an impression except that she seemed to be indecisive. But the minute she spoke, I didn't have an impression of her, but except that she was in the way. But the minute she spoke, my impression was, what a nice woman, what a nice person. She just came across as, the very first thing she said, I thought, well, she's a really decent person, and I believe that she was, and hopefully she felt the same about me. But it just shows the voice. When you don't know somebody, when they first speak, is all important, more so than perhaps any of the other things that come into this first impression. So all these things, they count as far as first impressions are concerned. An interesting one is facial shape of our faces. Obviously, they say that no human face is exactly symmetrical.
Right.
And I think and the way they prove that, I don't know if you've ever seen them, but sometimes when you see an article about this in a magazine or something,